Every day, millions of barrels of oil slide through the Strait of Hormuz. It is a narrow, dark artery of global trade, and moving a massive commercial vessel through these claustrophobic waters is like trying to parallel park a skyscraper. If you ask the United States military, they control this waterway. The official stance from Washington is one of overwhelming dominance, projecting an image where the Iranian Navy barely registers as a peer competitor. Pete Hegseth, the U.S. Secretary of Defense, frames Iranian forces as an unorganized nuisance operating on the fringes. He specifically dismissed recent Iranian naval actions as random acts of piracy. To hear Washington tell it, the Gulf is secure, save for a few rogue actors driving little speedboats armed with nothing but AK-47s. Despite claims of total American control, hundreds of commercial ships wait for explicit clearance from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps before they can pass. The Gulf's security effectively depends on a permission slip from the very force Washington claims to have neutralized. The centerpiece of that Iranian presence is their latest answer to American naval dominance, the newly unveiled Haider 110 warboat. This chart tracks the top speeds of standard military vessels. Most hover in the lower ranges, but Iranian state media claims the Haider 110 can reach 110 knots. That is 203 kilometers per hour on open water. Moving that fast on the ocean drastically compresses the timeline of an engagement. At over 200 kilometers per hour, a boat covers distance so rapidly that the reaction window for automated radar and defense tracking systems shrinks to near zero. If an armed vessel is truly operating at that speed, the standard defensive perimeters of American warships are severely compromised. We need to look at the engineering to see if this is an actual marvel of hydrodynamics or just a massive state-sponsored bluff. To get the actual specifications, we have to bypass Iranian media and look at assessments from independent naval analysts. Looking at this chart again, that 110-knot claim only works in a perfect flat water laboratory environment. The analysts place the boat's true, real-world operational speed somewhere strictly between 60 and 90 knots. The Haider's lightweight, dual-hull catamaran design is engineered specifically to glide over shallow coastal waters with minimal drag, but that shape becomes a liability on the open sea. Without deep draft stabilization or heavy armor, it becomes incredibly fragile when encountering high waves. The raw physics dictate the vessel's limits. It cannot project power across an ocean. It is, strictly speaking, a fragile, short-range coastal fighter. Put that coastal fighter in a hypothetical one-on-one duel in open water against a standard Western patrol boat, and the vulnerabilities become completely obvious. Take the American Mk6 patrol boat. At nearly 26 meters long, it possesses a massive size advantage over the Haider. It is heavily armored and deeply integrated into a wide-reaching command network. Or look at the Swedish-designed CB-90. It is built ruggedly for littoral combat, meaning it is designed to fight directly on the shoreline, and has superior internal capacity for actual troop movement and prolonged engagements. Next to these platforms, the Haider is missing critical links. It does not carry the fuel for long-endurance missions, it lacks the armor to absorb a direct kinetic hit, and it completely lacks the advanced radar suites needed to track and engage enemies from over the horizon. If you line them up for a fair fight on the open ocean, the Haider 110 loses. It is out-armored, out-censored, and highly vulnerable. But Iran has zero intention of fighting fairly on the open ocean. They built the Haider 110 for a very specific arena, the narrow, crowded confines of the Strait of Hormuz. This is the core of their naval strategy, known as anti-access area denial, or A2AD. The objective is not to sink every American ship in a grand naval duel. The objective is simply to make the local waters too costly and dangerous for an enemy fleet to even enter. Inside tight postal corridors, its small size is a weapon. Low radar signature and blistering acceleration make it the ultimate hit-and-run platform, and its strike capability is severe. The Haider is designed to carry short-range, Nasser-type anti-ship cruise missiles. It is a specialized, mobile environmental trap. Iran is using the physical geography of the choke point to neutralize the technological superiority of the world's most powerful militaries. They multiply that threat using swarm tactics. One Haider 110 is a nuisance, but 20 to 30 attacking simultaneously from all directions forces the target to track dozens of fast-moving threats at once. This deliberately overloads the ship's defensive radar networks. The primary targets for these swarms are the multi-billion-dollar U.S. destroyers currently deployed to the Gulf region. Destroyers are protected by automated, rapid-fire, close-in weapon systems designed to shoot down incoming threats. But a swarm attack relies on sheer volume. By firing dozens of short-range missiles at once, they aim to exhaust the CWIS ammunition and processing power, ensuring that at least one missile breaks through the defensive net. Beyond the military fleet, the doctrine of swarming targets the massive, slow-moving commercial oil tankers. These vessels lack any defensive systems to repel coordinated strikes. The Haider 110 doesn't need to break international speed records to be a nightmare. By being fast, cheap, and numerous, it gives Iran the leverage to paralyze global shipping. It forces an entirely new set of rules onto a naval conflict that the United States is deeply unprepared to fight.